I'm here with Johan of Candlemass to talk about not only the EP Black Star, but to talk a little bit about the band celebrating 40 years of existence, 4 decades for those of you that are not very good with math. Johan, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me about Candlemass and about this EP. How are things going with you?
Thank you for calling me and Candlemass up. I'm fine, thank you, for the moment. I just arrived to a place outside Stockholm. Just got here in time, waiting for your call.
It looks like a very nice scenery, so I think you're going to enjoy yourself while you're there. It
Yeah,
looks like
you can have a small view yourself.
oh, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
I hope you have a sauna there.
Actually, I have a sauna as well. Yeah, right. And I could also go down to the lake and swim, but it's too cold for the moment.
So let's talk about Candlemass. Let's talk about 40 years. How would you describe this journey, this path that the band has been on for these 4 decades?
Yeah, to start in the beginning, from my point of view, since I just was on the very first record and then had a couple of years not being a part of this, it's a pretty amazing trip through the years. And actually, I don't know exactly how they think the past decades have been, but we've been lucky lately. It's been 7 great years for me and the band. So I think even though the years are passing by, we still have something to give to people, and that's a blessing, in my opinion. And Leif is, of course, the main writer, and he's still writing great songs. So what can I say?
40 more years.
Oh, maybe not 40 more, but I'm pretty sure that he will never stop writing music, even though, if he's in a band or he's always writing in one way or another. I think so. That's a part of him, and
I saw you guys live last year. It was my first time seeing Candlemass live. I know 40 years and only now I got to see you guys live. But
okay, cool.
I went to Inferno last year and you guys performed at Inferno and such a great performance, super professional, but also a very interesting and dynamic performance, really bringing the audience in into what your guys are doing, creating a great atmosphere on stage. When you guys go on stage with all these years, with all of these experience, do you still look at every performance like almost if it was your first?
Yeah, we do. I think we're all the guys in the band. We know that we have a job to do when we're talking about shows. So I think we all are very serious, close to the shows that we're doing, and concentrating. And I think all of us, we really want to do as well as we can every single gig, even though it's a small club or a big stage, or it doesn't matter. We want to do our very best, all the guys in the band. So and of course, to me, it has been a great pleasure, entering a band now and that are solid as a rock. My only worry is myself. If I only play my cards well, then everything always used to work. So
Everything else will be fine.
yeah, they're like a machine. So they've been doing this for so many years. So
I, I,
that makes you feel very comfortable, I can
I
tell.
definitely got that impression last year when I saw you guys at Inferno. Was one of the highlights of the festival, at least for me, to
Yeah,
finally get to
cool.
see the great Candlemass live, and especially in such a cool setting and such a cool festival. You guys have done so much over the years. You guys have achieved so much over the years. Do you have any items left on your bucket list that you still haven't done yet with Candlemass that you would like to do?
Uh, Yeah, I've been pretty fortunate these 7 years that I've been a part of this now, and we did Monsters of Rock. That was probably my last bucket list thing, but there are always. I really do love every single show that we're doing, but I haven't been. I haven't. We haven't done Wacken with me. Maybe that's the next one. We done all the. I don't know if I've missed some of the festivals all around, but we've done a lot of the greatest festivals, but I have never done Wacken so far.
I'm going to be there in 2026, so let's keep our fingers crossed that you guys will be there in 2026. That way
Yeah,
I get
you
to see you
never
guys
know.
again.
It wouldn't surprise me because they haven't been there for so many years as well before me. So yeah, let's hope so.
Yeah,
That
it would
that
be,
that could be my next bucket list thing.
and it would be great for me because knowing that you're checking that off of your bucket list while I'm watching you guys, that would be even
Yeah,
better. That would be even better.
yeah, cool, cool.
That would be a great experience. So you guys are
Yeah,
celebrating 40 years. You're releasing an EP called Black Star. It has two
right.
brand new songs. It has two covers. Let's talk a little bit about the brand new songs. Um, were these tracks that were left out from a previous album, or you guys actually worked on these songs specifically for this release?
I think I'm pretty sure that Leif, they are no leftovers from the previous album, for sure, because he called us up when he had Black Star and told us all he was. Woo! I've got a really cool one now called Black Star, and we listened to it, and we all said, "Fuck, this is good." So no, there are no leftovers.
So
They are
brand new.
written for this year.
So written for, really for this celebration, written for this year. And you
Yeah,
also did two covers. Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, obviously an iconic song from an iconic band.
yeah.
What does Black Sabbath represent to you?
Black Sabbath are one of the bands that have inspired me the most, for sure, through the years. Especially, when I was young. It was Black Sabbath, Priest, and a handful of band that really got me, and Black Sabbath was one of them. But I must be honest and tell you that I prefer the Dio and the Tony Martin stuff. They are closer to me.
That is a controversial choice or a controversial pick for some.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it is, but that's just the way it is. I'm not a very big fan of. Maybe I get killed now, but I'm not a very big fan of Deep Purple in the beginning, and I'm no fan of Led Zeppelin. And I can't tell you why, because I know they are great musicians and people, but some things just
Don't
does not
connect.
don't reach you in one way or another. So that's just the way it is. And of course, I really love the song that we did now, the Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, and a couple of others, of course, as well. But I'm more into the Dio and Tony Martin era.
It's funny
So
that
just
you say that because I also I'm not a huge Led Zeppelin fan. I can appreciate the band and I can appreciate what they have done, but I'm
yeah,
not like a huge fan. And I always feel like, is there something wrong with me? Because maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe I don't see what everybody else sees. But I just think sometimes some bands just don't connect with you. That's just that.
yeah. I think it's as simple as that, and I've been, people all around you. Yeah, Led Zeppelin, they're so cool, and the first Purple albums, and of course, I love a couple of songs. I think they're great songs, but some things does not touch you the way others can do.
For me, with music is a lot like that. I don't know if with you is the same case. When I'm listening to a record, when I'm listening to a track, if I don't feel an emotional connection with the song, it's very hard for me to listen to that song or listen to that band. I need to be emotionally attached to it.
Yeah, for sure. That's exactly the same thing for me. It's enough with a minute or so if I think that. yeah, this is something I like. And, as of course, if you get into that mood and you listen more and more and more, then the song may even be bigger in the end because you liked it so very much in the beginning and you got touched just by the first minute, and then you understand the song. Of course, often to me, when you hear a song, you find it very interesting, and then the more you listen to it a couple of times, and then all of a sudden, this is a really good one. So. I think it's a good thing for a song to have a long life if you just don't get brutally hooked right away. I think the feeling, if you get the feeling that this sounds interesting and you listen more and more, and then all of a sudden this is amazing. I think those songs have a longer life. You know,
And
all the
then,
hit. Yeah,
sorry, go ahead,
sorry.
go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, all the hits that the old band did back in time, they are not the songs true lovers of the music are listening to. They listen to the rest of the songs on the record.
For that connection to exist, being a singer, how important is for you the lyrics on a track in order for you to connect with that song?
Yeah, I see it as I'm a kind of a storyteller, in my opinion, and the better you tell the story, the more truthful you seem to be, and I'm speaking about the things in the lyrics and do this with my hands and show what I'm singing about. It helps you to keep the lyrics in your head too, so it's a good thing. But yeah, of course you need to connect with the lyrics and the music. It's very important.
This EP is really interesting because you have Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath on it. So the great grandfathers of Doom, and then you
Yeah,
have the grandfathers of Doom doing a cover of the great grandfathers of Doom. So there's like two
yeah,
generations of Doom on a single
yeah, for
EP.
sure. Yeah.
How do you look at the genre of Doom today versus, for example, when you were on the first record with Candlemass? Has it changed a lot?
I actually I do not listen to that many bands privately, so I'm not maybe not the right guy to ask if how's the doom scene for the moment, because I'm too busy doing other things. But back in time, all I can say is that, some people were even laughing when they heard the songs from Epicus in the very beginning. I didn't know that, but the guys have told me that no one thought that this would be something that will still be alive 40 years later, and a classic album. So, but I guess that's the way it has been for a lot of bands when they're doing something before the time, or how you can express it.
Ahead of
I
the
think,
time. I think you guys
yeah,
were ahead
ahead of the
of the
time.
time.
Yeah, yeah.
And to a certain degree, you guys are still are. I mean, all these years later, you're still getting nominated for Grammys. Does that surprise you at all?
No, yeah, of course it surprised me, but it's wonderful, to have this kind of uh, yeah. All of a sudden, you realize that you've been a part of something big that has inspired a lot of other people and bands. So that's, of course, to me, it's an honor, and I'm proud of being a part of making people happy and inspire them in the ways we can, for sure.
Make people happy with sad music. I love how you guys are able to
Yeah,
do it.
but yeah, that's actually a lot of people do say that. listening to some of the albums that we've done are have been a great help for them in their lives when they've been down or lost or whatever. So uh, yeah, you have to face the dark to get through it in one way or another. I don't know, but yeah,
It's funny what you're saying in terms of the way the fans connect with those songs, those records, meaning being so meaningful to them, helping through those difficult times. When you look back at these last 7 years with the band, how important? Obviously, the music is important. That's why you guys are together. But do you
yeah.
put the same amount of importance on the personal relationships that you guys have with one another? Is that as important as the music that you're making?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah. We have a what do you say? A great spirit in the band, and we have. It's been there since 7 years ago for me. So we're having a good time, all of us, and they've actually told me a couple of times that they really like that I'm back in a way, or because they think I'm a very easygoing and soft guys, cool guys. Maybe not soft, but
You have a soft heart.
yeah. But I can get angry as well. But I'm pretty nice guy, I think.
I think you guys have a great dynamic, and that really shows in the music that you make and obviously in the live performances. Considering you guys are celebrating 40 years of existence, how is this year planned out for you guys? Are you guys going to tour a little bit more, play more shows, do more festivals? How do you celebrate
Uh,
40 years?
yeah, we're gonna change the set a bit, and we are. They're gonna change some merge for this year, of course, but there are also some people working on a documentary about Candlemass, actually. And I think it's a pretty big thing. But they're working on it right now, so I don't know exactly when the deadline is. But there's been a lot of interviews and stuff like that, so that's a cool thing.
That's very exciting.
Yeah.
Very exciting. When you're doing something like that, do you get nervous about creating a documentary that showcases everything around you guys?
Yeah, actually, we've been recording a lot when we've been out these the years with me, and they've done a lot of recording back in time as well. So I think there are several hours that you can put together in a hopefully a pretty good story, backstage and things like that. So yeah,
I
but
think it's going to be amazing. I'm looking forward to it.
yeah.
Considering the persona that the band has on stage, are you guys completely different off stage? Do you guys fool around? Are you guys a bunch of goofballs, or you keep a very stoic persona?
We go to each other's birthday parties, and sometimes we're going out for a dinner or things like that. But I live on me and Janne. We're living on the north part of Stockholm, and Janne lives even far away than I do, and the other guys lives on living on the south side. So we don't meet a lot during the private time. But when there is something, Mappe has a part in a restaurant, and sometimes we used to connect with each other there. And
Just hang out.
yeah,
That sounds great.
yeah,
Johan, I want to thank you. I know you have more interviews to do, and you have yourself a wonderful day. Enjoy the sauna, enjoy the beautiful surrounding that you have.
yeah. Thank
Congratulations on
you.
the 40 years of the band and on your return to the band. Thank you for the incredible performance that you guys did last year at Inferno. I really hope to see you guys again at Wacken in 2026. I'm throwing positive vibes into the universe
Yeah.
so that you guys can play Wacken and I get to see it.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you very much for your time.
Thank you very much for calling me up.
Oh, this
Thanks.
was a pleasure. Have a wonderful day.
Yeah, you too, man. See you.
Bye.